through an insurance company, and we had to teach the ADA guidelines. Is anybody in here diabetic? Okay, all right, so we're gonna be kind of talking about that today. So I had to teach the ADA guidelines, and this was my goal, okay? If you release 7% of your body weight, you would decrease your risk of getting diabetes by 54%. If you will look at your numbers, if you will take your current weight and subtract 7%, it's really not a lot. It's not. We started in January with this insurance company. I had to meet with a group of 15 people that worked for the city of Thomasville, and we met every single week. Supposed to be for a whole year. In October, these people on average had released 5 pounds, and that was it. Okay. Because I was having to teach what exactly the insurance company told me to, I told them you can still have your soft drinks as long as they're what? Diet. Okay. You cannot have butter because butter's got too much what in it? Salt. But you can have what instead, according to the ADA? Margarine. You can have a margarine. Okay, so those were things that I was having to teach them. And in the process, I met this really wild, curly haired looking guy. He's total opposite, complete opposites. But he was in my STIG class, and I started telling him about this program. And he said, it's not the program that you are teaching them, it's the foods. And he started telling me about his journey. I didn't even know Steve's last name. I called him the food guy because every day in STIG class, he would bring me something to eat. And so I'd bring it home, and my husband would say, what did the food guy bring in? I don't know, but it's good. And we started eating. So in October, I asked my group of 15, I was like, I want to change up the foods and just see what happens. Did not tell the insurance company this. And so we went through October, November, December. What happens in October, November, December? Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. And so at the end of December, those same 15 people that I had worked with that had released 5 pounds, at the end of those few weeks, they ended up releasing between 20 and 30 pounds. Okay, the men were the 30 pounds because women are like crock pots and men are like microwaves. Okay, so I always have to tell them that. So that's where the difference was. So in that journey, and Ashley, you were asking me earlier, how much weight have you released? I have not released anything. I've been doing this for 9 years. But just because you have not released weight does not mean that you are healthy. I was considered skinny fat. Okay. So at the time, I was 36 years old, and I felt like a 90-year-old woman. The inflammation in my body was horrible. Now, I was teaching about 10 hours a week at the Y, teaching kettlebells and spin classes and things like that. But when I would go home and pick up my 3rd child, which he was 3 years old at the time, I called him my little chunky monkey, he was a big boy, but I would not pick him up unless I was right by the sofa, just in case I would drop him, because my wrist hurt so bad. Or I could teach classes all day long, but then come the evening, I would walk down my den floor and it was like my ankles just felt like they were just cracking. Okay, so little things like that. So going through the program, starting the correct supplements to help with my inflammation, changing up my foods because I was not eating what I was supposed to be doing. Okay, I had a lot of sugar. I had a lot of dairy going on, and sugar and dairy are 2 of the biggest things that will increase your inflammation. Okay, so if you're dealing with that, you do like taking that MOA. I love my MOA. Like I told Sherry yesterday, I forgot my MOA. So I said I have extra. If not, I'm going to take some out of that box before I leave. But you have to have those things, but you also have to eliminate things that used to be in your diet. And I really feel that like that's a huge part of the importance here. So, all right, so 1 in 3 Americans right now with our standard American diets and everything else, 1 in 3 Americans are actually considered either pre-diabetic or diabetic. So which ones, who are my pre-diabetics or diabetics? All right, will you stand up for me just a second? Y'all need to stand up anyway. We've been sitting all day long and 10 hours of driving yesterday. Okay, so look at the room right now. Okay, does this look like 1 in 3 Americans? I don't think so. Not in the room this size. Okay, so we are going. You can sit down now. All right, so now we're going to take a quiz. Most people have got paper in front of you. If not, you don't really have to count above 10. So as long as you got 10 fingers, you can here. Okay, so here's your quiz, and I do want you to answer this. How old are you? Do you know your age? If you are below 40, you get 0 points. If you are between 40 and 49, you get 1 point. Between 50 and 59 is 2 points. If you are 60 plus, give yourself 3 points. And I'm going to go through these quickly. Okay. Second one, are you a man or a woman? If you are a man, you get 1 point. Woman, you get 0 points. If you don't know, that's a whole different story. Right. If you are a woman, were you ever diagnosed with gestational diabetes? If yes, 1 point. If no, 0. Do you have a mother, father, brother, or sister with diabetes? Yes, 1 point. No, 0 points.
I have a question though. If you have a grandparent, does it matter? Because that is.
If we're gonna go with mother, father.
Okay.
Just right there. All right. Do you have high blood pressure? Yes. 1 point. If you do not have high blood pressure, it's 0 points. Are you physically active? Yes, 0 points. No, 1 point. All right, I hope you can see the screen. All right, what is your weight category? So there. Good luck on seeing that. I know it's kind of blurry there. But find your height on the far left hand, and then go over to the right. Find your weight. If you are in this category here, you get 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. Okay. I got that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to add up your points very quickly. Everybody get the points? All right. If you scored 5 or higher, you are considered pre-diabetic. Now, based on those scores right now, if you are 5 or higher, I want you to stand up. All right.
I barely made the cut.
Hey, well, if you're a man, you had 3 points. If you're 50, 2 for men.
I was 40. I just got under the 239, so.
So your points went down to 4 now?
I was 240, I was 6'3", so I lost the point. But I was 3 times.
When we release our weight, we release 7% of our body weight and decreases our risk by 50%. So where we come in with the next 56 days is we teach people how to eat correctly. Because I do not agree with the ADA guidelines. I don't. I've seen what it's done and I've seen what it's not done. The first time I ever had Dr. Strand tell me that you could reverse type 2, not type 1, type 2 diabetes, I said, there's no way. As a nurse, I've never seen it. I've seen patients go up on their medications. I've never seen anybody go down on their medications, or never, ever, ever seen anyone be able to take off the diagnosis of type 2 diabetes. And then I saw it. And then I saw it again. And then I saw it again. And I saw it again. And when I saw like a hemoglobin A1C at like 13, and within a few months, it's going down to like 6, I'm like, wow. You know, when I have people who come in and they're being able to go off of their medications, that is huge. Okay. So years ago, when we would start our classes, we would sell kits. Basically what we would do. So in those, depending on which kit they wanted and what their personal goals were, like the more problems you have, the more problems you see a person having, the more opportunity you have to sell things to them. Okay. And I love people in my classes, whether they buy products or if they just do class. If they just do class, it's okay. You know, I want everyone to be successful. And some people can't afford them. Unfortunately, they are expensive. They are expensive. But this is where your best success is going to come from. Healing the body from inside out. Okay. So I'm going to show you very, very quickly. This is considered the American Heart Association. So 24 grams of sugar per day is what they say women should have. This is added sugar. Okay? I'm not talking about the sugar in your apples, your berries, and your fruit list that you have. Okay, I'm talking about the added sugar. Men should have 36 grams of sugar per day. So I'm going to show you where I was pre-56, pre-RX, New Age, I'm like old fogey. Like I've been forgotten, you know. So but this is where we were. So right now, when you get your slenderized drops, there is a booklet in there. There's an approved food list. All of these foods are considered low glycemic, meaning that they're not going to raise your blood sugars. When your blood sugars are not raised, it will also decrease your inflammation level. Okay, so this is where I was before I started my journey, because I was going to the Y every single day. You know, I didn't really feel like it mattered what I was eating, because I was going to go to the Y and I was going to go work it off. Okay, anybody ever gone to the Y and worked it off? I've been behind women who will literally be in the gym for 3 hours a day. I will get behind them going home, and they will go into the one traffic jam that we have in Thomasville, North Carolina, which is like Hillbilly USA. No, not no,
They don't have
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
It's a McDonald's. And I'm like, really? Could you just ruin 3 hours of work going into the McDonald's? Okay. So this was my typical breakfast. I had a bowl of cereal. Okay. Did anybody in here eat cereal? Okay. All right. So my typical breakfast. The serving size is actually 3/4 of a cup. And in that 3/4 of a cup, there's 12 grams of sugar. Okay. So one Krispy Kreme donut has got 10 grams of sugar in it. Krispy Kreme, or wouldn't this fill you up?
No.
No, me neither. Okay. So I decided that I would do 2 cups of cereal. Actually, I had 2 bowls of that because I was going to go to the Y. Okay, so I've got 2 cups of sugar. What would I pour on top of my cereal?
Sugar.
Okay. Milk. Okay. So I've got my milk on here. So a cup of dairy milk is going to have 14 grams of sugar in it. Okay. So if I go back to what the American Heart Association says I should do, okay, so I'm going to kind of look like this. All right, y'all know what I'm doing, so y'all can be my sugar trainings. All right, so 2 cups of cereal and 1 cup of milk is 43 grams of sugar. Okay, so women, did I go over my amount? Yeah, did I? This is 6:30 in the morning. This is 1 bowl of cereal. I was having 2. Okay, so I had 86 grams of sugar first thing in the morning. Okay, and then after that, I would have orange juice because I had a vitamin D deficiency. I was not taking Magna-Cal D, which I will not live without now. Okay, so my vitamin D here, I was having 8 ounces of juice, which has 24 grams of sugar in it. Okay, so I was adding that to there. Here, Joey. So with my orange juice, my 2 bowls, this is 1 bowl cereal. All right, so here's my orange juice. All right, what time do you want a snack typically? 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. What were you eating?
Probably a bag of chips.
A bag of chips, okay. All right, granola bars, anybody? Honey buns, what else? What's your typical 10 o'clock snack? Yeah, why do you want a snack at 10 o'clock?
Your blood sugar's coming
Your
down.
blood sugar just drops, okay? If you can keep your blood sugars balanced, you're not gonna get hungry or hangry, whichever one may be. Okay, so you need to learn how to eat foods that are low glycemic. Okay, so I had whatever right there, okay? Then lunchtime came around, and I decided I was not gonna follow that lady that went into the McDonald's. So I went home and I said I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I had sugar in my bread, sugar in my peanut butter, sugar in my jelly. I had a bag of chips. I had 2 cookies, and I was addicted to Coca-Cola, okay? So how many of you love your soft drinks? Used to. Yeah. If you do 1 soft drink, you typically do more than that. Okay. How many? 6? 6.
I wasn't eating, but I
Okay.
wanted 6.
That is typical. So this 1 Coca-Cola has got 39 grams of sugar in it. Okay. So I need somebody else to help with our sugar cream. Here.
I guess
You're
I will
in
be
the
in.
front row. Connect to Shelby there.
All right.
All right, so there's 39 grams of just the Coca-Cola, not the sandwich or anything. Fanta. Okay, I had a lady in spin class bring this to me. She was diabetic, and we were talking about sugar one day. And she's like, "Have you seen Fanta? Anybody want to guess how much sugar is in this 1 bottle?" How much?
53.
I guess 40.
72.
Yeah, I'm saying it's close to 80.
Wow.
That's what Sonny gets.
72. Okay. Now, this, to me, this is the crazy thing. If you were just to look at this bottle, how many servings would you think this should be?
One.
I think it's 2, but it really is 1. But, okay, so you got 72 grams of sugar right there. All right, and then you have your 3 o'clock snack, which typically the kids were getting home and we would have like Nutella on, like graham crackers or something. So that 2 tablespoons of Nutella. This is that. You go from there. Okay, so that Nutella, two tablespoons, have got 21 grams of sugar just there. Then we have supper time. Like, we have totally blown what we should have done at 6:30 in the morning. But we have supper time. What's on your standard American diet? Pizza, pasta, anything with bread. Potatoes. All these things that turn into sugar. Okay? And then I would have a bowl of ice cream afterwards. Okay, I would have another Coca-Cola. And then, don't judge me, but I would have another bowl of ice cream before I went to bed every single night. Okay? So all of this sugar was in my life, and I had to figure out how do I take it out and still learn how to live. Okay? Now, if you gave me any of those foods, I would totally hurt my stomach. Okay? Because your belly gets used to what you've been eating it, and I can't remember who said, probably more than one person said this today, but you don't realize sometimes how bad you really feel until you start feeling good.
That's true.
And then if you go back to feeling bad, you don't want to go back there. Okay, so it has to become a lifestyle. Thank you. So part of our plan with the next 56 days is making sure that you have other choices. Now, and Sherry, when she came back from Destin, like, she blew my mind because I was so guilty of not telling people about the drops if I felt like they only had 5 pounds. Because I'm like, 5 pounds. But then I would tell them about it if I felt like they had 20 pounds to lose. And we were talking about it one day after class, and I was like, I am so wrong. Like, my 5 pounds is just important to me as your 20 pounds is to you. Like, who am I to say who gets the drop and who doesn't get the drop? You know? And then when we talked about the importance of balancing hormones and everything else, it all really, like, it just finally clicked. So I've been doing this 9 years, but I'm still learning every single day. It just makes a difference.
Hey, Carrie,
So, yes.
what about the artificial sweeteners?
Oh, do not do it.
Okay.
Do not do it. Don't, we're not even good. Don't do that.
We love that you have talked about maltodextrin.
Yes, yes,
That's
we're gonna
about,
talk- yeah. So a big thing when I look at ingredients, maltodextrin, like everybody in my classes, we call that the devil.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we look at the glycemic index scale, if I tell someone to stay off of sugar, or if they're pre-diabetic, diabetic, and I will say, stay off the white stuff, your potatoes, your rice, your white flours, things like that. But what was happening is, like, even in class, and even my patients, I didn't know this at the time when I was working as a nurse, but they still craved desserts. So they felt like they were making a better choice, and we go through the grocery stores and they would start buying sugar-free desserts.
Right.
Okay, so what is in the sugar-free desserts? Worse than sugar. Worse than sugar is maltodextrin. So I'm really glad you mentioned that. And so
Because people think, oh, well, this, and that's what they taught.
right.
That's what everybody heard.
Yes.
Well,
And
this
it
is
says
better
on there,
for you.
sugar zero. So they feel like they're making a good choice. But when you look at that glycemic index scale, sugar's like a 65, and I'm telling you to stay away from that. The maltodextrin is 140. Okay, so people get on this maltodextrin feeling like they're making better choices, and in the long run, they are hurting themselves.
And
Okay.
what is y'all's approved sweetener?
We do the xylitol, the stevia, and the erythritol. This is what I want to show you though. So this here, obviously made by the same company. Okay, both of them say what on it? Stevia. Okay, but you have got to learn how to look at the ingredients, because this stevia here, the very first word is the devil. Maltodextrin, stevia. This one here is stevia and erythritol. So I would be okay with somebody doing this one, but not this one, okay?
You know, they make them in the box that one has it one day.
Yes, so you have to.
Reading
look at the
ingredients has to become priority.
priority. Things like, Sherry had mentioned it earlier, anything that has oats in it, your fructose, sucrose, if it ends in oats, it's going to turn lactose, all those things like that.
It's just.
All right, this is the last thing here. All right, so we talked about soft drinks. So very quickly, you did nothing else, okay? You decided to make one difference in your diet, okay? You said, okay, I'm gonna eliminate this Coca-Cola. If I eliminated one Coca-Cola, we already said, what did I say, 5, 6 a day, we're doing, okay? So one can of Coke a day ends up being 50,400 calories, 14,400 grams of sugar, 3,510 teaspoons of sugar. That ends up being 50 pounds of sugar, okay?
That's drinking one a day for a year.
That's one a day.
Or if you eliminate
Or
one a
if
day,
you,
that's
yeah,
what
you're eliminating. So we have that much sugar there, okay? So from there, that ends up being 14.5 pounds a year, just by eliminating that one Coca-Cola. Let's eliminate 2 Coca-Colas. How much do you release?
29.
Say 30, okay? 3, you eliminate 3. How much can you possibly release? This is just Coca-Cola. We're not even talking about the other crap that's up here, okay? But if we go back to that food list that Slender Eyes has prepared for us, and we stick to that food list, and we start making those healthier choices, and our bodies start healing, it's like your body finally says thank you, and it starts doing what you want it to do. That's all the difference.
That's 5 pounds of fat.
This is
If you-
5
That's a
pounds of
visual. Come hold it, feel it.
This is 5 pounds of fat. So never get on that scale and say, I've only released 5 pounds of fat.
Right.
So how much is reading, did you say? 60?
65 to 66, depending on the
Add
day.
that up. 5
Yeah.
pounds right
That's-
here.
Well, I don't see my stomach when I look down now, so that's good.
Add it in.
Yeah.
3 times
Maybe 40.
40.
Oh,
80
yes.
days.
Oh, I shared it. This got a lot of likes, and sold a lot of boxes.
Got it all, got it all.
When you say 5 pounds.
So for everybody selling drops, like this is the information you have to know. I probably spend, in today's world with everybody selling drops, I probably spend half of my day now just helping people that aren't losing weight. And 99.99% of the time, it's because they're putting some type of liquid sugar in their mouth, sweet tea. They're switching to some artificial sweetener that's telling the pancreas the same thing, release insulin. So these kind of things is how you arm yourself. And then the last thing is Dr. Strand was on our Zoom, who's our top doctor. I've been listening to YouTube videos and hearing people say tenfold, but Dr. Strand said high blood sugar long before it's type 2 diabetes, just high blood sugar, pre-diabetic, metabolic syndrome, whatever your doctor calls it, increases all-cause mortality 25-fold, meaning you're 25 times more likely to have a heart attack, 25 times more likely to have cancer, aneurysm, all the things that we die from are increased that much by elevated long-term blood sugar. So that's, when you talk to people, losing weight's a side effect of helping them prevent dying at a younger age than they should, or becoming incapacitated with some unfortunate event.
One of the things that I tell my nutrition clients all the time is nobody cares what size you are if you're 6 feet underground. So it has to become about health and not about weight. When you learn, or you can teach other people to focus on their health, the weight loss will come. It's a mindset, and it completely changes everything.
Good job,
Thank
Carrie.
you for that.